but it's flying nice. Alright, so this is the new XBOT3 from FLYWOO, and yeah, they're entering the Toothpick market with these little plug-and-play bind-and flies. I think this one comes with the XM Plus receiver, and they have other receiver versions as well as plug-and-play versions available. Now, obviously, a lot of interesting kind of design part choices here. First thing is the frame, and wow, this company, FLYWOO, really likes bling. They have this titanium color here. You can see it's very shiny. This is carbon fiber, believe it or not. The frame is carbon fiber, and then this titanium color has been electroplated on to the carbon fiber. I'll have to see how durable that is. It's obviously going to get chipped off in crashes and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want to maintain your bling, then don't fly at bandos, I suppose. There's also the XBOT65, which is the 65mm version. So that's a 65mm prop. This one here is the 3-inch prop, which is why it's called XBOT3. That one, the XBOT65, is a gold frame. I'll have that soon. That'll be another video. Obviously, that'll look a little bit different. Smaller frame, but I think the design style is about the same. Now, they went with these new Robo Series motors. You can probably seen these on my Instagram. These are the 1202.5 5800 kV. Kind of an odd choice. Now I like a lot of the 1204 5000 kV motors out there, so they're kind of going with a little bit higher kV, so 5800 from 5000, and a slightly smaller stator from 1204 down to 1202.5. Now, having flown this, and this, by the way, is the HD version. I'll get into that here in a second. I would have to say that is a little bit on the top end, not as much power as the 1204, which would make sense, of course, because it is a shorter stator. But I feel like it still has pretty decent control at the bottom end of the throttle. So if you're doing a lot of like sort of maneuvers and stuff on a tight track, for example, you know, I think it'll be okay. If you're more of a freestyler, like a lot of like big punch outs, natty flips, that kind of thing, where you need a lot of throttle and like really quickly, then this motor is probably not the best for those type of moves. For general acro, it's probably going to be fine. You're not going to be able to tell much of a difference. But if you need like that top end in bursts really quickly, the 1204 motor is probably going to be better for you. Oh, and by the way, I flew this on 3S. They say that you could fly this on 4S. I'm not sure I would do that. I'm not sure if I trust them on that one. I'm still waiting for verification if that's true or not. They are not really saying, so I'm a little bit. If I were you, 3S would be fine, and the tune, as I talk about in the flight demo, seems to be okay on 3S. It's a little on the loose side, but it's not terrible. Obviously, whoever tuned it likes a looser feeling quad. Of course, you know, that's totally subjective and up to your personal preference. So these are coming with the Gemfan 3018x2 props. As you can see, the motors here have the 2mm shafts. This is kind of like these new style motors that Kebab has been sort of promoting. So like, I guess we're going to see a lot more 2mm prop shaft micro motors, and I believe the Gemfan 3016s and the 3018s are the only ones with a 2mm prop shaft hub. Now, as you see, the shafts are tight enough where I didn't put the screws on, and I had no problems. It would be, I think in a really hard crash they might pop off, but I didn't have any issues in them coming off. So that's another new design element here. I will have the motor by itself a little bit later, so check my Instagram if you're looking for the weight of the motor by itself. I think on their website it also details what the weight is, but I'll also put it up on my Instagram a little bit later. So instead of their traditional like all-in-one flight controller, they're kind of going the diatone route here with the 16x16 stacks. So they have their new F411 16x16, I guess they call it a micro stack, but it's really a nano stack. So you got a 13 amp 4-in-1 BLHeli S ESC, not 32-bit. And you've got a Maytech F411 flight controller. It's got 2 UARTs. You got all these LEDs. You got a whole bunch of these LEDs here. You got 4 LEDs on this side on the flight controller. You've got 4 more over here on this side, and then you have 4 on the video transmitter. That's their VTX625. That is configurable from triangle to 20mm to 16mm configurations. They're using that one there, and that one goes up to, I think, 450 milliwatts of power with antenna. And the camera that they are using on this one is the Runcam Split 3 Nano. Yeah, this is the Nano, sorry. And it has the 20x20 board, and they're routing it. As you can see, the wires are routed down behind the receiver here, which is like this kind of interesting little TPU part. Goes underneath here, and then they have another TPU part here that holds the camera board. So you have your access to your micro SD card slot right there, and you have access to your buttons on the other side right there. And this whole thing down here is TPU, and it's held in by these 4 screws, 2 over here, 2 over here, and it goes into the standoffs and holds it to the bottom plate. So I was a little bit worried like landing on this with your battery, but it's fairly light, and the battery strap went in no problem. I suppose in a really hard crash, if you land directly on your battery, all that force could go into the camera board, so that is a downside because it is just TPU, but it doesn't weigh, this thing doesn't weigh a whole lot. You'd have to have a pretty bad crash and hit it directly. So this is an HD system, so we're coming in at 72.8 grams, and if you get the non-HD version, it'll come with a Runcam Nano 2, and obviously no camera board down here, so I think this part here is going to be smaller and closer to the bottom plate. I think there, if I remember from the photos, there still is a TPU part here, just smaller, and then it acts as a battery pad. So I think that's about 10 grams lighter. So I think the XBOT3, that one is going to be the non-HD version. I think both of them come in non-HD and HD versions, different weights and different price points. So anyway, I thought this thing flew overall pretty decently. You will notice the difference in the motor size from going from 1202.5 to 1204 or 1303. For those of you guys that fly like traditional toothpicks without any HD 1303 motor, those are definitely going to have a much better power to weight ratio than this. This is not too bad as an HD platform. Like if you're not really doing any major acro and you just want to do like cinematic flying, this is definitely going to be fine for that. The motors are totally fine for that kind of flying, and you're probably going to get a little bit more flight time because I think that's where they're trying to reduce the weight here on the motors, is get a little bit more efficiency. So you, on the same battery, like the 3S450 that I was flying, you might get a 30 seconds more flight time depending on how you're flying over a 1204 motor, but it is a little bit higher kV, so keep that in mind. Other than that, not a whole lot to say about this. I'll have to see how it holds up durability wise and the paint finish. I'm a little bit worried about that because I mean it looks really nice right now, and it is a pretty stiff frame and everything. It doesn't flex. Obviously with the paint covering up the carbon fiber, you can't tell anything about how it's cut, but it does feel like it's cut fine, and it's it seems like it's pretty durable, but I don't know how long this paint job is going to last on here. Anyway, rambled off long enough about this. I will show you the flight footage. Let me know what you guys think of this. Lots of lights and bling. If you're into like the looks of the drone versus the performance, then yeah, this is definitely up your alley. Anyway, guys, here's the flight footage, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Okay, so I'm just flying this totally stock. No pitch changes. And I'm running it on 3S, although they say that this could do 4S. I wouldn't run this on 4S. I mean, you can, but I worry that the motors will get too hot. I haven't confirmed yet if they actually did test this on 4S or not, but based on the way this tune feels, they might have 4S PIDs in here. It's a little loose. It's not terrible.
So they're running 410, no RPM filter. BLING ESCs on this guy. So RPM filter could be added. I may do that. There's so many BLING quads that I want to try RPM filter on. There's just so many of them. But it's flying nice. Yeah, the PIDs need a little adjusting. The rates are not the rates I like either. I think they have a lot of super rate. You can hear those Gemfan 3018 bi-blades. They sound pretty good. Pretty good flight time, considering all the throttle moves I'm making here. 450, 3S battery. Yeah, tune needs a bit sharpening up, but it's not terrible. I've seen worse out of the box. Of course, you know, the PID tune is very subjective. Going to really depend on the pilot and what they like. So whoever tuned this for FLYWOO had certain preferences and they're in this tune, and they just don't really match my preferences. That's how PID tune is. It's not going to be perfect for everybody. And there was a low battery warning. Still going really well, 4 minutes. Still going, 10.4, 10.5 volts. The voltage is still holding. So I'm going to end it here. It's about 3.5 volts per cell. Over 4.5 minutes of flight. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.